Is PC versus console the new console war? God, I hope not. But if you've spent any time in gaming spaces lately, you might think that we're back in the 90s just with higher resolution and louder opinions. But the new battle isn't whether you're with this guy or this guy. Now the heat seems to be all about whether PCs or consoles offer the superior gaming platform. And while that heat can sometimes just sound like noise, all of the passion around PC gaming and online forums is a big part of the reason that actually got me to bite the bullet and invest in a rig late last year. And before long, I found myself wondering whether that gaming PC might replace the consoles that I'd loved for more than 40 years. But what I've ultimately discovered is that the real upgrade wasn't switching platforms. It was letting go of trying to figure out which platform was better to begin with. Because the reality is that every advantage on one side comes with a cost on the other. They each optimize for different benefits. So it's less about what's better and it's more about what trade-offs a gamer is willing to make in order to meet their gaming priorities where they lie. I've figured out what works for me, but before I get to that, if you're a gamer on my channel and you're torn between Team PC and Team Console, I want to share with you the lenses that helped me stop overthinking it. Maybe it'll help you figure out what trade-offs make the most sense for you so that you can just focus on the games you love. And let's just level set here right out of the gate. I mean, this day and age, at least as far as gaming is concerned, pretty much anything you can do with one platform in one way or another you can do with the other platform. That said, one of the lenses that I think adult gamers really need to consider when they're thinking through this decision is convenience versus control. Assuming you're a couch warrior kid of the 70s, 80s, or 90s, the ease and convenience of consoles is probably pretty comfortable for you. And if that's your biggest priority, then consoles are probably still right for you. Now, can PCs be convenient to game on? Sure, yeah, they can be, especially these days with Windows Game Bar or with Steam Big Picture mode that's oriented around the console experience and controller play. They definitely can be more convenient than they used to be, but consoles are literally designed to just be plugged into a TV, turned on with a single button, and launched into incredible gaming experiences almost immediately. And so even with a brand new gaming PC in the house, there's still been so many times in recent months where I've just opted to pick up my Switch 2 controller or turn on my PS5 Pro to game at the end of a long day. Because even with all those new convenience features on PC, console gaming just still is easier. Whether you're on Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox, the software that greets you when you boot up is pretty much just designed to quickly get you into your games and get playing. Now, if you grew up back in the cartridge days, you're certainly going to find that there's a fair bit more complexity on consoles than there used to be. I mean, back in those days, we never would have thought of running a software update on a Sega Genesis or a Super Nintendo. But still, console updates, pairing, and updating accessories, all of those things are just really streamlined on consoles. You don't have to worry about any guesswork, and you don't want to have to do any system maintenance beyond blowing a little bit of dust off your machine every so often. Then consoles definitely look pretty attractive for their convenience. Because while owning a PC isn't like a chore, it's definitely going to require more of your attention than a console. You're going to have to put a little more effort into keeping the system running at tip-top shape. But again, there are trade-offs to that convenience in the world of modern gaming. And everything that PC gaming lacks in convenience, it more than makes up for in control. To keep consoles simple, manufacturers basically just design and ship what amounts to an appliance. It's not a flexible machine. PCs, on the other hand, offer gamers a seemingly endless amount of control over their games at every level. Experienced gamers who build their PC rig have a limitless number of options of components to put together to build a system that matches their budget and matches their output goals. But even relative newcomers like me who opt for a pre-built gaming PC still have way more choice than we do when it comes to consoles. With consoles, you basically just have three players, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, each with a limited array of models in order to keep online distributors and retail locations happy and to make choices clearer for gamers. But on PC, whether you're building or buying a rig, you're going to have so many choices between CPUs, GPUs, RAM, amount and type of storage. Even before flipping the machine on for the first time, you have a lot of control. And that extends to the seemingly infinite number of settings that you can fine-tune in order to select the aspect ratios, the resolution, and the level of detail that work for your gear. You're in control, but that control can be complicated. On console, it's much more plug and play, with developers limiting settings so that games always run smoothly for the hardware, and with walled gardens of accessories that you kind of just know are gonna work. On PC, you can download software to change fundamental aspects of the gaming experience and to change the way that your hardware operates. So if you're someone who wants to have that ultimate level of control and you're someone who enjoys that process of tinkering, which apparently I do, PC becomes the better place to invest your time and energy, even if you have to give up some convenience to get that level of control. Now, I want to stop here and acknowledge that there are actually some issues that I thought would be much bigger differentiators between PC and console that kind of turned out to be not that big a deal over the last couple months. And one of those is comfort. I was really worried that at first I wouldn't take to gaming at a desk on a PC. I've just been a couch gamer for so long that I was worried that I wouldn't be able to make that adjustment comfortably. But the truth is, I did, and I've absolutely found some very real advantages to desktop gaming. And, while it may not be as simple as consoles that are really designed to sit right next to a television, you absolutely can run a line from your PC out to your living room and play your games from your PC on the couch. And if you don't want to run a line, there are other wireless solutions, but they're not as foolproof and they can get pretty expensive pretty fast. But definitely the option to game from your PC on the couch is there if you want it. Couch gaming is no longer just the domain of console gamers. But Catalogue is another area where I found there really is some differentiation between the two platforms and where both have their advantages. When you stop and look at what's possible building a game library on either platform, it's kind of tough to really declare one better than the other. But again, there are definitely some trade-offs here that it's worth being aware of. I mean, on PC, patience for games to come out sort of becomes part of the lifestyle. There are going to be some times where you just have to wait to play big releases because of timed console exclusivity. It's annoying, but it's understandable when you think about it. I mean, there are estimated to be way more PC gamers in the world than console gamers, but when you look at it from a revenue perspective, revenues are way bigger on the console side of things than they are on PC, so it's understandable that developers would put their focus on getting their games out to the console platforms first. And with at least one more generation of sort of traditional consoles definitely on the horizon, I think it's fair to say that there's going to be still a number of years here where PC gamers are going to be waiting for AAA titles to release after their console exclusivity periods. Even if those eventual PC releases might even be a little bit beefier, you're going to be waiting to play them. Looking at you, GTA 6. Now, that said, over on the console side of things, you get the benefit of timed and console platform exclusives. I mean, you're going to get to play games first, and there are still games that never make the jump to PC. Lots of them. Like, for instance, the entire Nintendo library. But you're also going to pay more for your games overall on console than you are on PC. Since adding a gaming PC to my lineup, I have been regularly and very much pleasantly surprised at just how amazing the deals are in various PC gaming stores. And beyond the deals, while consoles are generally the best bet for the newest games, PC is definitely the place to be if you want to go back and get nostalgic and look at old titles from your childhood. I mean, you can find anything on PC across generations and generations of gaming. It's incredible. I've been playing games over the last month that I haven't played in some instances in 25 years, and that really beats the backwards compatibility that is capable on console platforms. On the flip side, for a lot of adult gamers, being able to go to GameStop or Best Buy and still pick up a game on disc and bring it home and pop it in and play it that day, that retail experience is still really important to a lot of adult gamers, and if you want that, if that's your priority, you're definitely going to want to stick with console because that is way more available in a retail environment. And at least for now, console games can still be traded and bought pre-owned at GameStop. There is still a lot of value in that for people that make it a priority. But I guess when it comes to digital games, I do actually feel a little bit more ownership over my games on PC. I mean, I have those games on my hard drive. I could transfer them to another PC. I own those games. Whereas on console, you kind of have to be in that console's platform, in their walled garden, if you want to be able to play their software well into the future. But again, that ecosystem, that walled garden, is kind of another area where there is a double-edged sword because, yeah, you're getting locked into a platform, but if you've got friends on that same console platform, being in a console ecosystem makes it really easy to get online, to play games with your friends, to experience game chat. That is just a simpler process on console than it is on PC. And each console's online services at this point are pretty much cross-generational, so PS5 players can play with PS4 players, Switch 1 players with Switch 2 players, and so on. But again, convenience versus control, PC gives you the ability ability to create your own multiplayer servers for individual games and host your own sessions, and you don't have to pay for a subscription to play online on PC like you do in the console ecosystems. Now, if there's one area where, at least on the face of it, it seems like there's a clear better, it's graphics and performance. I mean, consoles are mass market machines with a release date and then a long shelf life. A console generation kind of is what it is once it's launched. Whereas with PC, your machine is going to be upgradable for many years into the future. So it's fair to say that PCs absolutely have the potential for greater power and performance. That's absolutely true. And it's undeniably mind-blowing to see a game running on a gaming PC with settings cranked all the way up to ultra. It's something special. And if you've been chasing graphics since the 16-bit wars and you want the most cutting-edge performance out of your games, then PC makes a compelling case as the investment for you. But as much as we hear about the power of PC gaming, the truth is that the vast majority of PC gamers are not playing on machines that would be considered high-end. Most machines that most people are playing on aren't capable of pushing anywhere near ultra settings and maintaining any level of acceptable performance. So to me at least, the raw power or the potential for raw power really isn't a useful lens in thinking about whether you're going to go with a PC or a console. Or at least it's not as useful a lens now as it used to be, because the truth is that even a base level modern console like the Xbox Series S is still going to churn out graphics that by any measure for any adult gamer are pretty incredible. And even after being wowed by my gaming PC for over a month, the truth is at couch distance, I am still pretty wowed by my PS5 Pro and my Nintendo Switch 2. Those machines are nowhere near the high-end specs of my gaming PC, but in real-world use, again, at couch distance, they really satisfy me just as much. And really, I think for most people, the graphics and performance conversation gets nuanced when you bring cost into the equation. And yeah, there are just a lot of different ways that you can view that lens. Short term, console gets you up and running and gaming at a high level for way less of an outlay right out of the gate. Now, long term, PC upgradability, savings on games, and savings on gaming subscriptions, all of those factors add up to at least narrow the gap a little bit. But no matter the platform, one thing is for sure, one thing we can all agree on, is that the costs of these components and systems are going nowhere but up. And that's why it really is important to think through what is the right investment for you with all these factors in mind. And that is how I've come to think of it. I think of it as an investment. I really get a lot out of gaming. Gaming is my principal hobby, and it's something I'm really passionate about. And I'm a big believer that the more you put into something, the more you're going to get out of it. So what I ultimately decided is no. My PC is not going to replace my consoles. I'm not going to trade them in or sell them off, because I still think that there are things that those consoles are better suited for than my gaming PC, and I still have lots of friends on each of those gaming platforms. And while everyone's budget and priorities are different, I decided that, for me at least, it's worth the investment not to decide which one is better, and to have both console and PC platforms in my life as part of my gaming diet. And really, I sincerely think that if you're someone who spends all their free time on gaming and spends a lot of their entertainment budget on gaming, then I think you probably would benefit just like I did from going multi-platform and taking that decision out of the mix. And there's all sorts of different ways you could go multi-platform. You could choose to have a PlayStation in the living room and a Steam Deck for PC gaming on the go. You could have a Nintendo Switch 2 for the kids and upgrade your office computer to a gaming PC to enjoy both work and play. Gaming is an art form and a hobby that has become more mainstream than ever, and for a lot of us, we spend way more time playing our games than we do watching any TV shows or movies or sports. When I think about the cost of my consoles and now of my PC, I really try to think about it through the lens of how many hours of joy I'm getting out of those machines. And when I do that cost per hour of enjoyment math, I actually feel pretty good about my life choices, which is rare. Again, everyone's priorities are different, but if gaming's as much of a passion for you as it is for me, then I think the best way to resolve the trade-offs between console and PC gaming is just to remove those trade-offs entirely and spread your budget out in such a way that you can become a multi-platform gamer. The flexibility of going multi-platform means that you're really never going to have to miss out on any gaming experiences, and if this is your main hobby, that's a really good feeling to have. But what do you think? Is it worth it in your mind to have multiple console platforms in the house, or to have a console and a PC? Or are you still really dialed in and committed to one platform or the other and aiming to keep it that way? Let's discuss in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and hear about what your experience is like. Till next time, I'm Owen, the Friendly Xennial Gamer. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more to help me grow my new channel and connect with new viewers. Thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.